Let me just break down this question into three dimensions. First one is data, the second one is digitization, and the third one is AI. So let's take a journey, right? So imagine a scenario of 10 years ago, like around 10 years ago, how the field research would have been, done. So people used to go on the ground with a piece of pen and paper, and they used to put down all the data points on that piece of paper, and then go back and kind of digitalize that to do the analysis. It takes a lot of human times, and it takes a lot of effort to do that. Now the current scenario is that there are multiple tools that are available. For example, as simple as Google Form. So you create a questionnaire in that, you go to the field, you input all the parameters, and you click submit, and it's getting stored somewhere digitally. You go and you analyze. And for analyzing also, there are some tools that are available which do the task. Now this is the present. Let's talk about the future. Future is AI. Everyone is talking about AI, be it any industry. But in social sector, it's a little important to note that there is this human angle of empathy and human emotions. These are very important while creating a social initiative. So for example, let's say if you are going on the field and doing some survey, you use digital tool to gather the data and capture the data. And once you are done with that, imagine a scenario where there is an algorithm. Algorithm is basically a program which is written in a computer, which can go through the data, analyze it, and give you insights which are free from human errors and which are also free from biasness that is there. Now imagine, doing this task for an individual would have taken, I would say, a couple of days. These algorithms and these intelligent machines, these can do this task in not even days, not even hours, even in minutes. So that's a huge bonus from the perspective of both man hours saved as well as removing those biasness and inefficiencies. Now one more example could be, let's say if in a particular region the data is being collected in a specific local language, right? And analyzing that particular data would be a task by a normal human being. But there are some AI models or AI algorithms which can, again, do this task very efficiently for, converting the data of this, specific local language to, let's say, in English, which can be then put it into any tool that is freely available today to do all the analysis of the data. So this is the whole spectrum of technology that was there in the past. We are utilizing some of them today, and what is up ahead. So we know that data can be utilized if it is collected with a right approach. It can be used to get the insights which are actionable and are not filled with biasness, right? But there are multiple dimensions when we are trying to use this digitalization method of gathering the data, analyzing, and all of these process. So for example, let's start with data collection, right? So there are multiple tools that are available today, which can be utilized to just input the data, which kind of feeds the data in real time to a particular digital format. The challenge here, which a lot of people might not understand if they don't have that experience in the field, is that these tools might be able to do the task of feeding the live data from field to, let's say, a digital format. But there are some, on-field challenges like not great availability of, let's say, internet connection, and even as small as no connectivity of or no electricity. These challenges can be only experienced when a particular individual visits on ground. So it's my humble request to all the techies in this field who are trying to bring in that efficiency angle in social sector to visit the field once and see the challenges, firsthand. Moving forward, once the data is collected using the tools, now comes a small angle, but it's kind of a preventive measure that every organization should take once they are doing this process. It's of backing up the data with a redundancy model. This redundancy model is nothing but storing the data that is being captured on multiple locations rather than only a single location. Which basically means that if there is a single point of failure in a particular drive or wherever you are storing, the data is not lost for the whole research or for the whole project. You still have a backup to lean on to. Now, the third thing comes in when we are doing the analysis of the data. Now, analyzing the data is a very important task because there are a lot of challenges that can arise when we are analyzing the data. First and foremost, the real world data that we collect is not always of the high quality. So there has to be a quality check of that data from the perspective of cleaning the data. And this cleaning is basically as simple as removing the redundant values or treating the missing values by replacing it with some kind of universal values or removing the variable completely, right? Now, this thing is important because if this is not taken care for, these can bring in, biasness in the data and can hamper the accuracy of the project. So, a kind of a harmonic synergy between these three approaches of right approach to collect the data, right approach to store the data, and then right approaches to analyze the data can be so powerful that it can create some insights which can become really actionable and can bring out the maximum impact that is being captured on the ground. One challenge here is also that arises that the context by which the data is getting collected on field does not necessarily comes to the data that has been collected. This is a gap or a challenge, you can say, which not a lot of people, understand as of now, but it's very important because, for example, if the data is getting collected for a particular, location with a particular context, and the person who is collecting the data feels that context. But once he or she is putting the data in the tool, it's coming in a digital format, and the person who is analyzing might not be aware about the overall context by which the mindset of the data that has been captured. So it's also very important while creating these tools or utilizing these tools that these kind of barriers are taken care for, and the utilization of tool can bring in efficiency rather than a burden. So my word goes out to all the people in the social sector that don't fear technology. Technology, if friended, can bring in a lot of efficiency and effectiveness. And there are certain challenges that I understand that people face from the perspective of cost and the technicalities around it. But to address that, I am working on an ebook which talks about all the tools and techniques that one can apply to navigate through these technicalities and bring in that efficiency angle.